Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser coming to you from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for this week's Midweek Reflection. And this week I'm coming to you with a book recommendation. You see this if you go into Barnes & Noble or a bookstore. You see that the staff will do their recommended books. You know, on Amazon, people can recommend books and people do it on Facebook or whatever. So I'm going to recommend a book, but maybe this sounds strange, but it shouldn't sound strange. I want to recommend a book from the Bible. How often, as we think about, asking, what are you reading? And they'll talk about whatever latest book has come out on psychology or history or whatever. But there's so much of the Bible that we too often skip. And one of the books that I've been growing in appreciation for this last year is the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is a listing of what is wisdom. Now, we in the world, we're doing great in terms of knowledge. Somebody told me that what used to take like thousands of years in terms of accumulated knowledge now happens in a matter of months. Instead of decades and decades and centuries, now it happens in a matter of months in terms of the amount of knowledge and information that we gain. But for all that gain in knowledge, what it appears to me is that we're losing wisdom. Wisdom is not knowledge. Wisdom is taking all the knowledge that we can see around us and then finding out how to organize it in such a way that we talk about what is the right, what is the good. We can say what is. We could talk about how an atom is made up and how it works, and we could talk about history and all those great things to learn. But none of that tells us what's right, what is good. And, unfortunately, we have in our culture less encouragement to go to people for wisdom, whether they be just people that are older than us and have a lot of life's wisdom and experience. We don't go to them as often. We don't tend to have extended families nearby. You can go to, grandparents, aunts and uncles. But we can go to the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is literally sentence after sentence after sentence of wisdom upon wisdom upon wisdom. Just one that jumped out at me as I was looking at the book this week. There's in the first chapter of Proverbs, there's a verse 17, for their feet run to evil, talking about the wicked. The fact that evil is something that we run to. And if you think about it, how many times because of in the way that we're tempted, we sort of go headlong into sin instead of just stopping when that temptation comes and just letting some wisdom come back to us. So the idea is just don't run all the time. We're all running around. Sometimes it takes that stopping. We've been talking about prayer, to take those few precious moments a day to just stop and be with God. And one of the things that does for us, does so many things. One of the things it does is it brings us back to His perspective. Just by slowing down and stopping, it gives us a chance to hear really what God is trying to say to us all the time. So that's my book recommendation of the week. Pull out the book of Proverbs. Probably a whole chapter is too much. Maybe just look at a few verses every day or every couple of days, because there's so much in here in terms of wisdom. The Proverbs are attributed to Solomon, who is the son of David. We know the story of Solomon where the two mothers come to him and they're fighting over the baby, and he said, I'm going to cut the baby in half then. He knew they wouldn't want the baby killed. So he was a wise man. And so he shares the wisdom that he had in the words of Proverbs. So I hope we'll all take some more time to take advantage of this wonderful treasure that we have in the Bible, and particularly at this point, the book of the Proverbs in the Old Testament. I hope you found that helpful, and if so, please share it with your friends and compatriots, whoever they may be, via social media. And God willing, we'll see you in next week's video.